Ben, when I interviewed you and Sam about a year ago, I remember you were shaking up the solar industry, upsetting all these indie installers that were able to charge customers whatever they liked because no one could compare prices. You came out with a fixed price online, quote your own solar up. Yeah. That's done really well. You even upset the market by installing bifacial panels. All the installers, everyone else said bifasials do not belong on roofs, and now everyone's installing bifacial panels. Yeah. I remember you saying to me that you would look at battery-only installs, but you really wanted to wait for 0% VAT. 0% VAT is out now. So you're upsetting the market again now with 0% VAT on batteries, and you're going to be doing fixed install prices on battery-only installs, so with no solar. So how's that going for Heatable so far?
Yeah, it's gone really well. I mean, it was a product that we had sort of in the pipeline from the start. We started developing it around 6 months before it was assumed that VAT was going to get dropped on batteries. We got it online within 4 weeks of that happening, and it's the second biggest product that we do in the business right now. So it's really took on. We've got some contracts off the back of it as well, which has been really good. So we've worked with some utilities, we've worked with some DNOs for those medical situations, and it's just a product that's proving very popular. It's allowed renewables to be modular.
Yeah, and like I said, the big thing about Heatable is with all your products, I mean, I'm a renewable person, so I'd rather not enter your gas area, but you do fit gas boilers, which is, I know, let's be honest, you're going to be going down the heat pump route eventually. You know, you probably don't want to admit that to me on camera, but you will be shaking that market up. So people are already upset with other installers shaking that market up. You're also going to be upsetting that market soon, I am sure. But let's talk about, you've upset the solar market. You're now doing a fixed price on the batteries. Yeah. But not only that, you're doing something that other people don't allow, which is you're giving a fixed price on all the batteries you sell. Yeah. So which is by far the most popular battery that you've got here?
Okay, so recently it's been the Powerwall 3. So that's been a product that took us by storm. We put a post on LinkedIn the other day. We originally ordered 180, sort of like a bit of a precautionary, let's see how we get on. We don't know how this is going to go, but Tesla came to us and said stock was going to be limited. Placed an order for 180. We sold them within about 4.5 weeks. So we've now ordered again. We've got another shipment coming. That product has been the most successful in terms of its lifespan on the site. Beyond that, the Give Energy All-in-One has been really popular. The Alpha has not been as popular in terms of a standalone battery solution, but it's been very popular with solar systems.
I mean, all these systems, they're going to have different buying prices, but you're also factoring in there the install price, how easy it is to install them for each of your installers. Yeah. Which is by far, from talking from the installers, which is their favourite one to install?
So physical installation, right now it's the Give Energy All-in-One, but not the commissioning. No one wants to commission one. Second place would be the Powerwall 2. However, we've just started installing Powerwall 3s, and we've done three so far, and they've been 50% of the install time of a Powerwall 2. So we think Tesla will take that award.
When I spoke to Eddie, who's one of your big installer people here, he helps run the office and stuff, I call him Mr. Mullet Man because he's always got a mullet. But he actually said his comment with the Tesla Powerwall 2, his issue was there's no grab handles, there's nowhere to lift it, and for him to physically move it into place, it's a bit of a pain. I can already see down the side of the Tesla there's a little bit more room to hold it, grab it, move it, position it.
They sell a trolley dolly to move that around, but it's 1,600 quid. So it's a lot of money, but it makes it a lot easier. It raises it, it moves it, it basically makes it mobile. Give Energy have got that nailed really, and so have Alpha, because it breaks down. So you can take it out of the van, you can move it around, you can put it in the property and set it up. I mean, you couldn't move that battery now without 2 people, but if you disassemble it, 1 person can pick that up. So.
Yeah, I think the thing to notice here, the reason why the Tesla Powerwall is such a hard battery to move is because it's been designed purely from an aesthetical ground up, and also how they can get the best hardware but with the best looks. Yeah. So they've not really, without being rude, they don't care about you as an installer. No. They care about the customer and how they can make it look that good.
Yeah, they've improved it this time around with the speed of install, but you cannot get over the mass of the product. It weighs a lot. I mean, what you generally find in batteries, I've had experience with lots of different batteries. what you pay is what you get sort of thing. And the quality of like the Alpha as an example, the quality of the Tesla, you can just feel it's sturdy, it's solid. It's not one of these little things you can just move around like a DVD player.
So what's Heatable's coverage for installs in the UK at the moment?
It's a national, so we'll do anywhere in the UK. We've actually got a Powerwall 3 going a mile from Land's End. We've had a Powerwall 2 in John O'Groats. We've done anywhere. We've got teams that are trained up and down the country. And because of the volume of Tesla that we've been doing, Tesla are putting on events for us. So we had an event in Manchester recently. We've got a training event this month with them in Birmingham. We've got 55 engineers going to that to be trained on the Powerwall 3. So we spend a lot of time with the network getting them up to speed.
You talked about the commissioning was a bit harder on Give Energy. The commissioning on Tesla, one of the easiest, or is the Alpha the easiest?
Alpha's the easiest, yeah. I mean, I commissioned an Alpha. I didn't even read the manual. It was that simple. Tesla's, it's pretty straightforward. It's not too complicated. There's nothing worse than moving one of these around all day, getting it wired in, doing all your gateway, getting all your products in. You go to commission it and it either needs a software update or you can't connect it to Wi-Fi. We've had installers on site at 8 o'clock at night ringing us saying, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm struggling, what's going on? They've just lost their mind with it.
Yeah.
Go away, come back tomorrow. But there's a cost to that. There's a cost to us, it's a cost to the engineer, but for the customer, we give a fixed price. So we're trying to select products that don't give us hassle. And the all-in-one, to be fair, has been pretty good. Of late, it's got better, which is why it's still on the site.
Spoken our big battery video, the Alpha support is basically so good because they have so little issues with it.
Yeah, and I love this product. It's been we never have any issues, we never have any support tickets for it. The challenge to this product will be the growth it's going to experience because it will get picked up by installers. I think as a customer, you're going to pay a couple of £100 more compared to a standard generic battery, but you're going to get 10 times the user experience. That will pick up. Let's see what they do with their support.
Okay, and if we're going for a battery-only install, is it your MCS approved so we can get export?
Yeah, so you can get export. The tariff is the challenge with battery only. Clients need to educate themselves on which tariffs they can and can't have. We don't advise on tariffs. I don't want to say on camera the way around it, but people have lots of ways of getting it. There's lots more market activity now going into battery-only systems. It's very popular, and we're going to expect one of the batteries here may or may not have a tariff in the UK soon that's all about batteries.
If anyone's not aware, Tesla have been hiring heavily staff from other energy companies, and there is a possibility that we may see a Tesla energy product. So you've got Octopus Energy, you've got British Gas, you've got E.ON, you've got EDF, and Tesla Energy may be entering the market soon, but it will obviously only be available to Tesla owner customers. So they're not just going to sell it to you if you just own anything. You'll have to own a Tesla product, maybe just a Tesla energy product, but I reckon they'll probably allow Tesla cars on there as well.
Yeah, I mean, they do it in the States, don't they? So they allow unlimited charging for, I think it's $25 a month. They create a virtual power plant. These are energy assets in field. If you think about the grid support that batteries can offer, the really interesting articles and documentaries, not documentaries, but docu-series, sort of mini-series online on YouTube, you can learn about the grid pressure in the UK, and battery assets can change that, and that's what Tesla are trying to achieve.
Yeah, and it's one thing that comes up in my videos quite often is people say, well, how long is it going to have a differential of pricing in the UK? Yeah. And the one deal that you really see this on is Octopus Agile, so it changes every 30 minutes. Yeah. So people know peak times in the UK are 4 till 7. We pay the most prices there. That will never change. They will always be the dearest points. But what will change is, like Octopus have been running at the moment free energy on certain hours, and that's because there's lots of wind but very little availability. So what you're going to see is a lot more of this as we see more and more renewables on the grid, wind, solar. The power company saying, look, we want to give you this energy for free so you can charge up your batteries, and then you can either use that to offset your off-peak, or they might say, hey, we're really low on power at 4 o'clock. Can you send it back to the grid and we'll pay you maybe £1 a kilowatt an hour? And I think that's what these batteries do, especially if you're going to be a battery-only system. You need to understand that, yes, the tariff that you're on now might change, but it could get better.
But yeah, there's a lot of people gaming this system. I think when you think about those tariffs, it's all about where the energy is coming from. The grid is going more green and it's going into renewables. Well, renewables are unpredictable. Sometimes it's windy outside now, but yesterday it wasn't windy. It's going to be really windy in about an hour, apparently. It might be sunny, it might be raining. So this half-hourly position is moving all the time. So I think what will happen is we'll get away from the fixed differential and it will be a instantaneous variable differential. But batteries change that whole dynamic. And you know, what we find with battery is clients who have a battery are like, oh, okay. They wake up to the opportunity and then they tell someone. That's why our battery's been so successful for us, because it's all word of mouth. We spent hardly anything on advertising. When we do a little bit of PPC, that's about it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about using a battery in the way that I'm talking about, which is not just using your own use off charge, but also exporting it. We'll talk about cycling the battery soon, because people get a little bit upset about this, and we'll talk about why they shouldn't be. But with all these batteries here, let's start Powerwall 2. What's the warranty on this one?
10 years, unlimited cycle.
Test the Powerwall 3 same?
10-year unlimited cycle.
Alpha?
10 years, 6,000 cycle.
10 years, 6,000. So 6,000 cycles. Like, how many kilowatts is that a day in that? Is that
a cycle is full empty to full to empty. So you've got to do that 6,000 times, which is 15 years, roughly.
So it takes you 15 years, but the battery warranty is 10 years. So basically the cycle limit is more than what the battery would be.
Depending on how you use it.
Yeah, but you'd struggle to hit 6,000 cycles.
Yeah, and unless you're absolutely grinding it on one of these agile tariffs, you would struggle.
If Alpha are watching, you should probably just change it to unlimited, because with 10 years, as Ben just pointed out, it would take longer and it would just sound better if it said the word unlimited with 10 years.
Some people could do it, I suppose, but it would be rare.
Yeah. I mean, for those rare chances, Alpha, just say unlimited. It will improve it, trust me. Give Energy, what's that warranty?
12-year warranty on that one. I think 6,000 again.
6,000 cycles.
Someone might correct me in the comments on that. I don't know 100%. Enphase is a 15-year warranty.
Wow.
So their system is different than everyone else's. They've got those individual microinverters. We just covered that in your other video, where those inverters are designed to last 25 years.
So it's the battery, the capping at the 50.
It's the chemistry of the battery that's going to degrade.
Any cycle limit on that on the Enphase system?
I don't think there is, to be honest. No, I'm not sure. Oh, it might be 6 or 8, but it's not again.
But it's a high number. So talking about that cycle limit, a lot of people get really upset online when I do videos talking about, you know, charging my battery off peak off night and then discharging it at the end of the day to force that back for basically 8p profit. And they go, oh, you're cycling, you're killing your battery for 8p. Which, by the way, is very profitable. It's about £2 a day sometimes. So yeah. You know, 8p does stack up.
Well, if you charge it and discharge it every day for 365 days, that's 700. So you could have 10 years, you're at 7,000. That's if you went full empty, full empty, full empty. It's not really going to be in that sort of range, really. Like, batteries like to get work. Tesla, what does happen with batteries is their capacity degrades over time. There's different levels of warranty. So like Alpha, I know, and Tesla will give you minimum 80% depth of discharge at 10 years. So if it drops below that, they'll replace it.
Doing that depth of discharge, not only are you going to get faster payback in your battery, and the whole point of these systems is, yes, there's a green part of it. You know, you may be a green person, you want to get, but majority of people installing batteries these days are doing it to save money. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, I think most people go into renewables because there's a benefit to the environment, but it's primarily about saving money.
Yeah, so the faster you can get a payback by charging and discharging these, the faster you're going to get that payback. But if you do damage that battery by cycling it, you want to do it within the warranty period because you're going to get a new battery.
Well, and like let's say you've hit, you know, if you've absolutely, you know, worked that battery to death, and by year 8 it's gone above its cycle limit. It's only an issue if it breaks. If it goes above its cycle limit, what you've hoped is if you've worked it that hard, it's probably paid you a lot of money in that period. And as well, what's popular about battery is you can earn money for not even cycling it. You've got the DFS scheme, you've got the local DNO schemes.
Just so everyone knows, DFS scheme it's not a sofa sale. It's at winter. The energy company with the national grid. So all energy companies tend to subscribe to this, and some other third parties, even Alpha, have their own system where if you have an Alpha battery you can subscribe to, and they will basically take control of your battery in the winter, and they will discharge it to support the grid for phenomenal payments. Last year I earned £150 in 2 months from Alpha from cycling the battery.
And that's on top of export.
Yes, I got paid export as well as that 150.
So it's a real moneymaker. There's something coming in as well. We've got some software being developed at the moment. I think you met the development team before. Energy market from November this year, the spot market is going to be opening up to, you can trade energy beyond your energy supplier. So you could aggregate your battery and earn they reckon up to £500 a year on top of the rate. So we're building that software at the moment.
The people need to understand that energy trading, peer-to-peer trading for energy is the new sort of self-income. You can just generate income while you're at work.
It's passive income. It's passive income. Yeah, it's we've got some really interesting software being built, and we're working really closely with some battery manufacturers to optimize that. It's going to be a massive problem.
So some quick fire questions for you then. If I already have solar, can I add a battery?
Yes.
Can I add a battery without any solar?
Yes.
If I have a fit solar export, will adding a battery affect my payments?
No, but you can't claim SEG and fit. You can't export your battery as well as claim SEG.
But I could get a battery, charge up and get deemed export.
Yeah, it wouldn't affect it. You charge it up at night.
Another thing is, if I already have a fit system and my inverter is 3.68 and I wanted to replace it with a hybrid inverter with 3.68, can I switch them?
You can switch it as long as the inverter stays the same size. If you change the inverter, they aggregate your fit.
Okay, but if I kept the same size inverter and the same panels on the roof, I can just switch it for a battery hybrid inverter.
Yeah, so I reckon 25% of the Teslas we've done have been on fit schemes where they've added a Tesla hybrid, set it up for a different setting and got the battery in one.
Okay, and if someone went for battery only now, AC coupled or hybrid, could they add solar in the future?
Yeah, they could do an AC couple, they could do a hybrid system, yeah, they could add it later on.
Okay, so there's nothing stopping someone going on to Heatable now, buying a battery only system because maybe they're having the roof done or roof repaired, they want to do it later date, or they haven't got the money, they could get a battery only system and benefit now.
Yeah, but the VAT relief has really changed that. It's popular. Modular systems, essentially, do it in tranches, yeah.
Okay, what type of customers are going to benefit best from a battery only system?
Anyone who doesn't particularly want solar and battery, people living in flats, depending on the electrical setup, people who live in listed buildings, people who've got medical provisions. Mentioned before in your video, we do a lot of these for crypto traders who can't afford for the Wi-Fi to drop out. So they've got multiple Wi-Fi connections and we give them instantaneous backup. So, you know, some of these boys are trading a lot of money. But a 19-year-old who's making a lot of money. And we put 3 Powerwalls in his house.
He's making a lot of money if he's got 3 Powerwalls in his house. What's the payback on this compared to solar?
Depends what you do, what tariff and how much energy you're using. 7 years is achievable, 4 years is achievable, 12 years is achievable. I wouldn't want to quote it.
It depends on the customer.
Depends on the customer and what you do with it. If you're going to fit it and just not do much with it, it's probably going to be 10 years. If you're going to game it and play it, you get that down to 5 to 7. If you're going to get this software that we're developing at the moment, which other people will do as well, it could pay you from day one.
Right, okay. So it's really going to be depending on what you're going to do, how you're going to use it.
That's how you do what you do.
I presume, though, with the difference between this and solar, the payback workout on battery is physically, you could work it out yourself. If you knew what you were going to buy the electricity for, sell it for.
If you knew your energy consumption, you knew export, import, differential, you could work it out on the assumption that that stays the same, degradation, stuff like that needs taken into account. But there's always schemes to support batteries that are, well, certainly that are coming out now.
I've noticed, as we record this today, you are still doing 0% APR finance on batteries.
Yeah, we haven't got a lot of that left, but yeah.
So it's limited. So it's basically you've got a fund pot.
Yeah, we got 60 million over 3 years, and we thought it was going to last.
How long have you had it in?
I've had it a year. We're 2/3 way through it.
Okay, so if I wanted to run my house just off charging off peak, is that possible? Could I just charge off peak energy and not use any peak?
So okay, you need to do a couple of things here. You need to look at how much energy you're using per day, and then you need to look at the inverter because you don't want to be outside the envelope of the inverter. So if you go for something like Powerwall 3 that goes up to 11 kilowatt or 8, 9, whatever it's set at, it's got 13.5 kilowatt hours of storage. Unless you're using more than 13.5 kilowatt hours outside of the low rate window, which will be about 19 hours, 20 hours, you'll be fine.
For you, would you pick one which does battery backup, or would is it go? Are you going to know if you need battery backup?
Where I live, backup's pointless.
Okay.
But it's 50% of people, I'd say, I want backup. People think there's going to be zombies coming, but I think that's the last of your issue. If you've got zombies, I think going off grid is going to be the last of your issues. So.
Funny enough, there's a woman I get along with very well called Sarah. She's very big on Twitter. She genuinely sent to me, "Are you worried about the zombie apocalypse?" And I honestly thought she was taking the mick, but I think she's genuinely being serious.
Oh no, I think it's definitely a thing. My dad just built a house now. He's put a polytunnel in. He thinks it's going to happen.
Out of all of these, which is your favourite aesthetically?
Powerwall 3.
Which is your favourite software?
Probably Alpha.
Which is your favourite warranty?
Warranty, end phase, but you're paying for it.
And which one of these have you got at home?
Alpha.
Oh, okay. So, out of all these, which one do you think is going to be like the best long-term app? Which one? I know Give Energy have got teething problems; they're getting developed, but let's just say we bought one of these. Skip a year in the future. Which one of these is going to be the most accessible, best app, most integrated app?
I think Tesla will be the standout product. They've got the biggest budget. They're the biggest brand. They're the biggest inverter manufacturer in the world. Probably one of the biggest battery manufacturers in the world. So you're not going to beat them.
Okay, and we got obviously Powerwall 2 is dropping out. So we've got the moment 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that all the batteries are off of 4 batteries?
We do a few others. We do the smaller version of this, the B3. If you've got B3, we do. What else do we do? We've done some of the cheaper stuff on request. We wouldn't do it again.
Okay.
Someone's like, I really want this, and I'll name it. I really want this battery, and we're like, and we've done it.
I can give what you're alluding to.
It's just not worth it. It's you just spent all your time trying to fix it.
Would you be adding any other battery products to this, or is this? Do you reckon this is now the big 4 lineup?
We've not seen anything else that we're particularly interested in. There's one battery they gave us. We tried it. We installed it. They wanted us to do a video on it, but we didn't have a great experience of it, so we didn't put it on. We just gave them back. So there's nothing really at the moment. I'm sort of happy, really. You've got to remember as well, like we have relationships with these manufacturers, so if we get problems, we can ring people. Like if you end up with 10, 15 manufacturers, it's very difficult. And like you get to know the systems, the back end, and you just stick to what you know.
I think it's worth pointing out that if you pick these 4 batteries, and you've looked at a lot of batteries, and they're all different price ranges. So you've not just picked the cheapest to install. You've not just picked the most expensive battery or the best warranty, you've got a choice of batteries. You're happy with these 4 batteries. So if a lot of installers, they'll push the one battery they sell. Yeah. So they've got a battery, they sell it, and that's the one they recommend.
Most of them are pushing whatever's on offer at the merchant.
Yeah, where you're not pushing any of them. You offer all 4 of them with a fixed price and let customers pick. Yeah. And that's unique. So if you want a battery only install off Heatable, where do you go, Ben?
For heatable.co.uk/battery, you can get a quote on that online.
Yeah, and if you use code EVNIC75, you'll get £75 off the install price. If you want to see the video that we've done with all these batteries behind us, comparing them, then check out the video just above Ben's head.